From the high banks of Daytona to the quarter-mile short track bull rings, these guys do it all. They're the journeymen of ARCA stock car racing. Names like Shaq, Straight, Leslie, Baird, Kimmel. The veteran list goes on. But then there are the hungry youngsters who want to earn their place in the ARCA spotlight. Will age and treachery prevail over youth and enthusiasm? We'll know the answer after 150 laps. It's ARCA, it's Shady Bowl, and it's next. Round 9 of the ARCA Bondo Mar-Hyde series here on Speed Vision. Hello, everyone, and welcome to DeGraff, Ohio, and the Shady Bowl Speedway for the Stapleton Automotive 150, the 9th race in the 1999 season for the championship. I'm Brian Trevor, along with ARCA expert Don Radebaugh. Downstairs on the starting grid. So before we get this one underway, let's go down to Don, who's with the pole sitter fast qualifier for this one.
Thanks, Brian. You know, in 3 of the last 4 ARCA races here at Shady Bowl Speedway, the winner has come from the pole position. And last year's pole sitter, Jeff Finley, was the runner-up finisher. Sounds like starting up front is the key to going to victory lane here at Shady Bowl Speedway. How about it, Tracy? You're on the pole. Is that what it takes to go to victory lane here at the bowl?
Well, I hope so. You know, we had a good qualifying run. We've run good in practice, and obviously hometown, you know, Jack Bowser, right just a few miles from here. The guys give me an excellent car and had a good car last night at Toledo, and hopefully we can maybe get one of these things under our belt before tonight's over.
Well, he's already had 3 top 10 finishes in just 3 starts. Look for the 21 car to be up front all night long.
Back-to-back races for these guys behind pole sitter Bill Baird in Toledo, who is the points leader. Bob Shack, the veteran, finished 3rd there behind Baird, and he starts the second 5 in the point standings. That's for the championship, but tonight it's for the win. Once again, near perfect temperatures and conditions for both the fans and the racers. A slight chance of rain in the forecast. Let's go back down to Don Radebaugh. The subject is strategy.
Pit stops have always been part of the program in big league stock car racing, except when you line up here at Shady Bowl Speedway, because the pits here aren't in the middle of the track where the crews can service the car. They're in fact behind the backstretch up on a pit paddock. Therefore, if you're going down pit road here at Shady Bowl Speedway, you're going to go a lap down. It's like signing your death warrant. Therefore, I'll guarantee you the winner that goes to victory lane here tonight will not go down pit road. He'll go to victory lane without any service at all.
The crews that are normally working so hard to keep these guys in the race or exercise their particular strategies are instead going to be spectating here tonight as the engines fire up and we get set to go racing for this 9th time in the 1999 season. It's sure to be exciting and a little bit different here at Shady Bowl in Ohio. The cars are on the grid. The pace cars getting ready to take them around on this 1/3 of a mile oval for 150 laps with $76,000 in prize money available. Frank Kimmel holds the race record here, winning at just over 55-mile-an-hour average. So as we get set to go here at Shady Bowl, settle back in your seats for what we know is going to be a great race. The ARCA Bondo Mar-Hyde series brought to you by Motorsims.com, the hottest racing games ever to burn through cyberspace. Check us out on the web and let's go racing. And by the Lilliput Toy Company, toys for the child in us all. Call them from the Shady Bowl Speedway. Sure to be the stage for some exciting racing as we take a look at the MotorSim starting grid. Tracy Leslie, the pole sitter, we heard from him. Outside will start Eric Smith. Then it's points leader Bill Baird on the inside of row 2 with Robbie Pyle alongside.
Clayton George's Mike Giacchetti from inside row 3 alongside Joe Cooksey, the Centralia, Illinois driver. Randy Churchill, the Canadian, inside of Kirk Piercy in row 4.
Mark Gibson starts the Janiking car on row number 5 with Blaze Alexander, most recent winner here in the ARCA series. Bobby Gerhardt in the Kuwait Casino Chevrolet, and Jeff Finley make up row 6.
Defending race winner Frank Kimmel, the Advanced Auto Parts Chevrolet, and Andy Belmont in row 7. In row number 8, you'll find Randy Van Zant there, the Brooklyn, Ohio driver, alongside Kevin Counselor out of Naples, Florida.
Mike Lords goes on row number 9 with Jimmy Kitchens out of Hueytown, Alabama. And then row number 10, A.J. Hendrickson out of North Carolina with Travis McIntyre in a Ford.
Richard Hampton rolls off 21st from inside row 11 alongside the veteran Bob Shack. Norm Benning, car number 84, rolls off inside row 12 alongside Wes Russell.
Row number 13, Ron Cox, and Dill Whittemore starting in the back with a provisional, and Greg Sarf, Chuck Weber round out the field. Also provisional starts for these guys. 28 cars will take the flag behind the pole sitter, Tracy Leslie.
And Brian, this track is a handful. Just a third of a mile, you're always busy. The leaders will soon be in traffic and dealing with traffic all night long as they contend with one another. But you're busy in the seat for 150 laps, and I'll tell you, it makes for some exciting short track racing.
Take a look at the onboard cameras that we'll have for you here tonight, starting with the America Online car. Andy Belmont behind the wheel, and you're riding in the passenger seat as he begins this one back from row number 7. Andy Belmont, great run the last time out, finishing up in 4th spot. Then we go to the 83 car of Jeff Findlay, the Duraloo Chevrolet. And Jeff will be taking you along for a ride, as will Bobby Gerhardt, the Kuwait Casinos car. And they're off. Tracy Leslie takes them to the green flag, but quickly around the outside there and contending for the lead is the number 9 car of Eric Smith in the Southtown Ford. He wants it bad.
That's no surprise to me, Brian. Eric Smith sat on the pole here last year. He's a 2-time ARCA winner. One win at Owasso and one at Killcare Speedway. So he does good at this short track stuff. And I've got to believe he'll be a contender here tonight.
2 by 2 as they go around the racetrack. It still looks like they're waiting to go green. Finally, Smith pulls into the lead. Bill Baird up into 3rd spot there behind, but again, it's an outside move being put on by the 81 car of Robbie Pyle. It looks like 2 groups are working already.
Pyle has put on an impressive run so far, qualified very well, has very limited starts for the ARCA Bondo Mar-Hyde series, but he is a past ARCA Pro Ford champion, so we'll look for big things from Robbie Pyle tonight. Right now, Bill Baird's looking at Tracy Leslie here off the 4th corner.
And they're both watching the number 9 of Eric Smith pull away. Clear track in a very fast race car. Smith has got some breathing room while all the racing goes on behind him.
Bill Baird working on Tracy Leslie. Meanwhile, Randy Churchill working on the 81 car of Robbie Pyle, working to the high side.
On board with Bobby Gerhardt, and it is rush hour traffic. We got a sideways car up on the track, and it is Churchill who was making a run there, but it got away from him. He stayed off the wall. That's the good news. Meanwhile, our leader, Eric Smith, sails towards the yellow flag, which is waving at start-finish. He'll hold the lead. It'll tighten up the field while they get things sorted out and cleaned up just a little bit here at Shady Bowl. A nice crowd on hand watching, including all the crews. You mentioned earlier, they won't be working tonight. All they can do is wring their hands and hope that the driver gets the job done for them.
At least, Brian, they hope they won't be working, because if they are, it means they're in trouble. The key here is to go the distance without coming down pit road.
We'll take a cut away from the action here, the top 5 as you see them, starting with Eric Smith and finishing with Marquis Bowl. And the leaders are all single file right now into the first caution of the evening behind the 9 of Eric Smith, who took the lead after a couple of laps. Pole sitter Tracy Leslie, who is having his problems. And now it's Smith that takes him back to the green flag, and we're racing again under the lights.
Eric Smith with his new Ford Taurus. This is his first year he's brought out the Taurus. He's had the Thunderbird in the past, and looking for big things from him in the Taurus this year.
Leslie holding up Bill Baird just a little bit, reminding us of the late laps at Toledo a few weeks ago. Baird with a faster car couldn't get by the lap car of Leslie. He had to settle for second, unable to run down the leader in that one. But right now, the leader is Eric Smith, and once again, Baird's trying to get in a position to race. Now he has it. He's clear in 2nd spot. Let's see if he can pull it back.
Opened up a hole there for the 81 car. 81 car, Robbie Pyle didn't go for it, though. Leslie will hang on to 3rd. Right now, Pyle's got a whole bunch of Mark Gibson alongside. The Janny King Ford works his way to 4th. He'll bring along Bobby Gerhardt as well. The 81, Robbie Pyle, backing up in a hurry. Here comes Kimmel as well.
Well, you get caught on the outside here at Shady Bowl, and it's not where you want to be. Inside goes Gibson, showing a little bit of a tweaked front end already there in his effort to get up to the front. Baird starting to scoot away just a little bit. Gibson now running in 3rd, and you're on board with Gerhardt looking at them all.
Another impressive run from Gerhardt so far anyway. He struggled a bit early on this season in the short tracks, but he's really come into his own and doing quite well. I'll tell you, it looks like Leslie's got a problem because he's really backing up. He can't hold that Zinsser paint Ford on the bottom of the racetrack, and that'll make you go backwards in a hurry here. If you can't stay on the bottom, that'll open up the bottom groove, and so far everybody, including Frank Kimmel here, is taking advantage of that.
Kimmel and Pyle with Tracy Leslie in the bomb sights, and you can see the whole field is following the fast guys down on the low line, while Leslie just can't seem to get the car turned in. Kimmel goes by and made that look awful easy. Leslie again fires up and gives Pyle in the 81 car even more room to make a pass. He's definitely got a handling problem right now in the 21.
I would think so, because that car, Jack Bowser's number 21 Ford Thunderbird, has been to victory lane here at Shady Bowl more than any other car. And so I've got to believe Leslie, being the veteran he is, has got handling problems for sure. One thing we do know for sure, he's backing up.
And Frank Kimmel is going forward, leading a freight train behind him. Pyle's having a little bit of trouble making the pass that Kimmel just did. Frank Kimmel in the 46 is moving on up. As we take a look at the 83 car of Jeff Finley and the Duraloop Chevrolet on board.
Finley ran very well here last year. He finished about a half car length behind Kimmel in second. He likes this track. He's got a great race car here. I'll look for the Duraloop car to be up front most of the night. Right now chasing Clayton George's Mike Cicchetti, the winner's circle 4. There's another driver who hopes to go to the winner's circle who has yet to do so. He's had some great runs in ARCA competition. Mike Cicchetti has, third at Charlotte, third at Texas, but not yet to victory lane, hoping to put the winner's circle 4 there here tonight.
Tracy Leslie, it looks as though the car may have come back to him just a little bit. He's able to hold a slightly lower line and hold up that whole line of cars. As we watch the 40 of Andy Belmont, the America Online Ford, always a strong runner in the ARCA series. And he's part of that freight train trying to work around Leslie, who's making the job much harder for him right now. Belmont currently 11.
And he's got Bob Schacht in his rearview mirror, so that can get uncomfortable at times. Schacht, a series veteran for sure. He's got more victories than any other driver in this field here tonight. Trouble off the 4th corner. It's Kevin Counselor, the 19 car, who's got himself turned around. Travis McIntyre in trouble as well in the 2 car.
So things come to a halt here at Shady Bowl, just as Bill Baird and leader Eric Smith were starting to get into some traffic, and they were right together, nose to tail. Travis McIntyre's got the back end of his car down in the dirt, and the deep ruts on the inside. Remember those signs on the freeway that say low shoulder? Well, that's kind of the case here at Shady Bowl. You get off the edge there, he can't find any traction in the grass to get his car back up on the racetrack, and it's a problem.
No problem for the 19 car of Kevin Counselor, though, who was also involved in that incident. He's got his race car turned back in the right direction.
Pace car out on the track. Yellow flag waving as the leader Eric Smith with Bill Baird right behind, and we still take a look here at McIntyre, who's backing it up, trying to sort of rock that thing out of there. You can see the problem that he's having getting traction, and then there's that high inside edge of the track. Don't mean to chuckle, it's a little funny for us, but not for Travis. Go green behind leader Eric Smith out of Bloomington, Illinois, the Southtown Ford, with points leader Bill Baird right behind him. There's the 9 car down on the inside with the 52.
Brian, you'll notice the lead lap cars as we get set to go back to green are on the inside. Now that's different than all the other tracks that ARCA participates at. And they do that here because the pits are located on the outside of the track. So if they re-enter the track, it's from the outside and not the inside.
Eric Smith holding off Bill Baird right now, and the 2 of them beginning to escape slightly from the rest of the field. Smith doing a good job, both of them, with a nearly identical setup, it appears, and nearly identical line around the track.
Well, they're certainly taking the best line around the track, and like at so many short tracks, it's tucked right against the bottom, and that seems to work best, especially even going through the lap traffic.
Eric Smith in his Taurus, Baird in the 52 Chevrolet, a Monte Carlo. And we've got another car down on the inside. It's Kurt Piercy this time out of Normal, Illinois, in his Monte Carlo, and he's backed it into the wall. A little bit of damage evident, and he too could have some problems trying to get up over the edge of the track. The lift down on the inside, since they repaved Shady Bowl, is significant.
Piercy out of Normal, Illinois, finished 7th in the ARCA points in 1998. One of the front runners when he's got things going his way. Right now, things are not going his way. Significant right front damage, and of course he'll go pit side and go several laps down in an effort to repair whatever's going on there, including the flat right rear.
Andy Belmont on board with him as we watch. And listen. Now he keeps shutting the engine off and back on again under caution here. We know that fuel consumption is an issue, but we've never seen anybody solve it quite this way. It's kind of like an economy run for him here while the yellow's out.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's all about. God, can't believe it's to conserve fuel. It's really not that much of a factor here, so I really don't know what's going on there.
Maybe he's just testing the starter motor in case it happens for real as we go back to green. We'll scratch our heads over that one a little bit. Eric Smith takes Bill Baird for a ride with Mark Gibson in third spot right now. Gibson again with that tweaked front end, little puff of smoke back behind them, so we've got trouble on the restart as cars are scattered around, and once again the two of Travis McIntyre. This time he's got the front wheels off the edge of the racetrack.
He's got his car turned around the other way this time, that's for sure. He's one of the local heroes here, just a young guy from nearby Quincy, Ohio. He cut his teeth in racing right here at Shady Bowl Speedway. This is his second ever start in an ARCA car here at Shady Bowl, although he did try to qualify for the Super Speedway show at Charlotte a short time ago with no success there. He has recently moved to North Carolina and works as a fabricator for the Ken Schrader NASCAR Craftsman truck team.
On board with Bobby Gerhardt running in sixth spot as the guys ahead of him are weaving back and forth a little bit to try to keep some heat in the tires here at Shady Bowl. Evening has descended upon them, and normally that means the track cools off just a little bit. Setups are likely to change, but in the absence of any scheduled pit stops, you're just going to have to drive through any handling problems that might develop. There's our leaderboard. Eric Smith leading. Tracy Leslie, who started on the pole, is still hanging on in fifth spot, and apparently his car's handling a little bit better than it was in the early laps when he lost all those positions. Go back green behind Smith and Baird.
Back with your leader, Eric Smith, the Bloomington, Illinois driver, still has Bill Baird in tow. Mark Gibson behind him, and the defending champion, Frank Kimmel, wants a piece of the action up front as well. In a tight line off turn 2.
4 cars edging away now from fifth place Tracy Leslie, who's a little slow on the restart to try to get it gathered in again. Apparently his car better on long runs, and so far we have not had much of that.
It's interesting, though, Brian, you mentioned about the pit strategy and the fact that if your car is off, if the handle is off on the car, then you don't have much choice but just to hang on to it and hope that it gets better as the race goes on. But another one in trouble. It's Joe Cooksey, who just about took away Mark Gibson from the hunt, but back underway.
In his haste to get on the racetrack, which is understandable, the leaders were just coming by. Frank Kimmel's right alongside now as Cooksey tries to shoot up towards the front for the restart.
Well, with caution on the speedway, I believe he was trying to get his lap back on board with Andy Belmont, who rides in 10th place.
And again, the driver's trying to keep as much heat in these tires as they can, and we watch to see if Belmont turns the car off and back on again.
Not that time, anyway.
Lights in the dash stay on for the American Online car, number 40. 99 Taurus body on there.
Joe Cooksey did not get his lap back, did not get to the stripe in time. He is 1 lap down as a result of his spin off the 4th corner, so that won't help him early on in this Stapleton Automotive 150 here at Shady Bowl Speedway, where Eric Smith continues to show the way. He has led each and every lap from the outside front row starting position. He's had Bill Baird in his rear view mirror all the way.
And Mark Gibson and Frank Kimmel. It's only the pole sitter, Tracy Leslie, who's had a little bit of trouble kind of hanging on to the line. As we look at Andy Belmont in 10th spot, he's on the low line, of course, where all the lead lap cars are. And there is the number 2 of Travis McIntyre, who's had his troubles. The 84 also sliding back, Norm Benning.
In the 32 of Randy Van Zandt, the Brookville, Ohio driver. He has several laps here at Shady Bowl Speedway. Used to run the local street stock and late model division here before getting his break. In ARCA competition right now, that break has gone bad for Randy Van Zandt as he turns his Pontiac around here off the 4th corner.
So another caution is sure to fly as Van Zandt burns some rubber to get his car going again, just as Bill Baird starts to slide by. Let's have another look here from on board with Andy Belmont.
Yeah, Belmont inside of the 32 car. Randy Van Zandt, as they enter the corner, wondering if there's contact. Indeed there is. He'll help Randy Van Zandt spin here off the 4th corner, and as a result, the 32 car will go a lap down. That's unfortunate. He was running very well and with the leaders.
So we're under caution here. Eric Smith still leads this one, and Tracy Leslie. Caution still waving here at Shady Bowl, but it won't be for long as we get set to go back to green flag racing. Some of the cars rejoining the fray here include A.J. Hendrickson, who was out in the pits, which are on the outside, mind you. You see cars exiting to the right. Right turns are normally bad. In this case, it's only because they're heading towards the pits. The lead lap cars are down on the inside. The 51 of Joe Cooksey is on the outside. If he can get a great start, he might be able to get a lap back. But no such doing, says Eric Smith. He takes him away, and Bill Baird kind of got stalled on the inside, caught by surprise, lost a lot of ground.
But if Joe Cooksey could get back on that lead lap, I've got to believe he may become a contender. He qualified 6th for this event, runs very well here at Shady Bowl Speedway, although not yet on the lead lap as he continues to race side to side with Eric Smith. Smith has a whole bunch of Bill Baird to worry about now with Mark Gibson in his rearview mirror. Frank Kimmel's coming too. A tight line still up front.
Baird quickly made up the ground that he lost a while ago. He's not the points leader for nothing. He knows how to set up a race car, and he knows how to run a race. With a couple of wins already this season and way out in front in points, Baird is the guy that's really in charge, although Eric Smith is in charge of this race. Baird looking on the inside now, knows his car is fast, and he's got the lead. At least for the moment. Let's see if Smith is able to remount a charge. No, Bill Baird with a very clean pass down the inside now leads here at Shady Bowl. And right in front of him is the 21 car, and that is Tracy Leslie. Leslie spun while all that was going on, so he's trying to stay on the lead lap by remaining in front of Baird. Let's see if Baird puts him a lap down.
That's a tall order when you've got Bill Baird behind you. As Baird puts a fender inside of Tracy Leslie, this could put him a lap back. It will here off turn 2. Leslie's got his work cut out for him tonight.
Well, the car was not handling well. It seemed to sort of come back to him on long green flag runs. Let's take a look at what happened to Tracy Leslie from on board with Bobby Gerhardt.
Looks like Kevin Counselor just touched the left rear quarter on the 21 car and helped Tracy Leslie around.
Well, Leslie was the guy that everybody was trying to pass, whose car seemed to be handling better on long runs, and while he was fighting the handling of his own car, everybody was trying to get around him for position. And Bill Baird takes the lead, puts Leslie a lap down in the process, and opens up some ground on the rest of the field.
But Leslie is running a lot better than he was in the beginning. I've got to believe, typically in short track racing at night, as the sun goes down and the lights come on, the tracks will tighten up. So a lot of the crew chiefs will set the car up for later on in the race when the car gets tight. So he was probably a little loose at the start with the car coming into its own. Now, unfortunately, he's a lap back.
And former leader Eric Smith, once he got past, started heading towards the rear in a hurry. And that happens often as well. You get stuck off the racing groove, and everybody comes sailing by. Gibson did it, Kimmel did it. Even the lap car of Randy Van Zandt got by the number 9.
Gibson running well. He'll look inside the Duraloop car of Jeff Finley. Finley with his troubles. Well, I'm sorry, that's not Finley. That's the other Duraloop entry of Mike Lors with his trouble already 2 laps back. But Mark Gibson really likes Shady Bowl Speedway. Always runs well here. He was runner-up here last year, and right now running 3rd.
Saw a little bit of smoke coming off the back of Van Zandt's car. We'll have to keep an eye on that as the number 32.
Oh,
Mark Stahl,
Robbie Pyle.
And look at Robbie Pyle now down where you don't want to be either. And he's in the gravel. He's off the edge. And everybody's checking up behind. And we've got big problems here. Andy Belmont's caught up in it as he's backing up on the racetrack while everybody else is coming at him. The 81 car also involved. Robbie Pyle there gets his going again. Belmont finally with a clear track has to make a couple of maneuvers as Pyle comes by. Oh, he almost backed it off the edge down there, and you don't want to do that. Robbie Pyle with heavy damage. Let's have another look. On board with Andy Belmont.
Into corner 1, got the Duraloop car in front. There's contact between the Duraloop entry and the 81, so he may have had some help, Belmont, with his hands full as he skids through the dirt.
And now he's facing north in the southbound lane here with oncoming traffic. He had to be patient. Let's take another look from on board the Duraloop car.
Coming into the corner.
There's the contact.
Already contact. Yep.
Pyle goes around, and then he collects Belmont as he was nosing down the track. Outside, the the racetrack. In the pits, Andy Belmont brings the America Online Ford to a halt. The crew's going to have to go to work. As you said, this is the kiss of death if you pit here at Shady Bowl.
That will definitely erase any opportunity for the Penndel, Pennsylvania driver to go to victory lane here at Shady Bowl as he re-enters the bull ring here, the 3rd mile bull ring here at Shady Bowl, but unfortunately a lap or 2 back.
Well, he'll get back onto the racetrack, but not necessarily back in the race. Pits now, the number 75 car, Bob Schacht, has taken the engineered components Ford in, and that's not good. They got the right side of the car up, trying to fix him and get him back onto the racetrack, but again, I say not into the race. Well, Baird's the leader. He's down on the inside with Kevin Counselor outside of the number 19. Counselor's already gone for a ride here at Shady Bowl. We're a little short of green flag laps, but not of action. As Baird takes him back to the flag, gets a little loose there with Tracy Leslie behind him. Leslie doing everything he can to get his lap back, include nudge the leader.
This would probably be his best opportunity to get his lap back. You know, you got to consider who's behind him. He's got Mark Gibson and Frank Kimmel. Trouble.
Counselor once again goes across the traffic and takes the mad Chevy, others against drunk driving car, down to the inside wall. This time the damage could be a little more severe. He's definitely got a problem with trying to get going again.
He's not moving anywhere in a hurry, that's for sure. Under caution, the Naples, Florida driver, Kevin Counselor, with a beaten, battered race car, in trouble again.
Well, he does get it fired and up onto the track. Some damage evidence on the front of the car. Now he has to make a little K-turn there, like a parallel parking job, to get going again, but he does.
Wonder if he'll just live with that, or if he'll have to go down pit road. I see some bright front tire smoke on the 19 car.
Well, it's never good. You can't expect to hit the wall too many times, maybe not even once, without sustaining some damage. It may require Counselor to go to the outside of the track, and he does. Oh, well, he pulls around Andy Belmont, who's stopped in the middle of the racetrack once again, and yes, there's definitely some tire rubbing on sheet metal in the 19 car.
And that's not good. If you're going to have a tire go down, that's probably the worst one to go down, the right front, as you enter the corners. And indeed, he'll go pit side and take care of that problem.
Belmont gets moving again, still firing and shutting off the car. We're not sure exactly why, but in any case, it is happening, and you've seen evidence of it. Bill Baird now will lead with Mark Gibson right behind. Frank Kimmel is there, so the cream has risen to the top here. And the drivers that you would expect to be the contenders are, in fact, the guys at the front of the field.
Although Frank Kimmel still struggles through 1999. You know, last year he won 9 times. He's been to victory lane once so far in 1999. And 98, of course, been there several times. And I know he's very, very hungry.
Nobody more hungry, though, than Bill Baird, the veteran driver out of Sturgis, Kentucky, as Gibson gets a little sideways. And Kimmel is more than willing to help him out.
Hung on to it, though. Got that car very, very loose. But got it going in the right direction again. Maybe Kimmel's making him a little nervous, I don't know, but giving him plenty of pressure, that's for sure.
Frank Kimmel in my rearview mirror would be making me a little more than nervous. I'm sure that Mark Gibson has seen this more times than not, and he's just going to hang on. His biggest problem is with his own race car, not the one behind him.
And Joe Cookson behind Frank Kimmel, the 51 car, running very, very well. Every bit as strong as the leaders. Unfortunately, I believe he got turned around earlier on and went a lap back. That's too bad, though, because he has a great, great race car here tonight. So is Frank Kimmel, and he'll show Mark Gibson the way off turn 2. Kimmel running second and looking for Bill Baird.
Gibson just had to let him go that time. I think as he moved up, he saw the whole car, not just a fender of Frank Kimmel, and Kimmel set sail right on past him. Now Gibson will settle in, try to settle himself just a little bit, and maybe see how come Frank Kimmel's got such a good line around the track. Maybe his car will come back to him a little bit and he can repay the favor. As we go on board with Jeff Finley in 5th spot, a ways back from the 3 lead cars.
Through 1 and 2, off turn 2, Gerhardt. A great run tonight for the Kuwaiti Casinos entry. The Daytona ARCA 200 winner has got his short track program dialed in and working well tonight, currently running 4th with Jeff Finley behind.
And at home, you have the rare opportunity to ride with both of them as they try to sort out this 4th and 5th place battle. go outside to take a look at both of the cars involved. The 5 of Bobby Gerhardt down inside the white car as they both work the low line on Randy Van Zandt, who's had problems here tonight. If we go on board once again with the 83 is Finley. Has a whole windshield full of that 5 car, Bobby Gerhardt.
And some lap traffic to deal with as well. That's part of the formula here at Shady Bowl. You've got lap traffic most of the night. You're having to work it in and out of it, as well as contend with one another as you race for position.
2 very different lines by these cars, as Gerhardt takes kind of a low entry, low exit, but the 83 of Finley kind of works it up high, takes it outside in an effort to get a position down low on the racetrack. But here you can see Gerhardt holding a very concentric line around Shady Bowl.
Right against the bottom, and that's definitely the preferred line here at Shady Bowl. Don't see a whole lot of passing to the high side unless your chassis is really, really working there. But in fact, sometimes it's the only way around. Someone's turned around here on the front stretch. Jimmy Kitchens, Hueytown, Alabama driver, going the wrong way.
We've seen more than a little bit of that here tonight as he brings it to a halt up out of danger. And now will take some time to get his car turned in the right direction again. We'll take a break. And once again, has kind of become a theme here at Shady Bowl tonight. But we know these guys will get it all sorted out and go racing. Behind Bill Baird right now, Baird, the points leader, is the fellow they've been chasing just about all season long for the championship. And tonight here at the racetrack, it's more of the same.
Travis McIntyre is going to go another lap back in the 2 car. He's had his share of troubles here tonight. The front runner still the same. Bill Baird showing the way with Frank Kimmel and Mark Gibson.
Well, you love to see veteran drivers setting the stage for a run towards the checkers as we go back and look some more at this 4th place battle between Bobby Gerhardt, who owns the spot right now, and Jeff Finley.
Finley chasing Gerhardt, been doing that much of the night. I've got to believe he's getting tired of it. Would really love to make a run on Gerhardt. Haven't seen one yet, though.
Finley, with that high entry, low exit line on the track, has been looking for a way around Gerhardt for quite a while now.
How about the run from the 39 car? Randy Churchill, who spun earlier, has fought his way back to the lead lap and maybe a contender before this one shakes out. Doing a fine job. Whoa!
Gerhardt's going around, and you know that Finley was right behind him. And now Gerhardt's parked with his front wheels off the apron of the track. At least he's got traction to back it up. All he's got to do is get out of the way in a hurry because the lead lap car is going to be coming at him here in just a moment.
Also has a tire mark on that rear bumper to suggest he may have had some help.
Well, I would say that from the onboard shot, he definitely had some help. Let's look at it from the outside. There's Finley coming up from behind. No! He just got loose all by himself, and just ever so slightly, Finley's left front tire touched the rear bumper of Gerhardt on the way past.
But he was already gone. He got loose and looped it all on his own with no help.
Absolutely. You can see there's plenty of room between Finley's nose and the tail end of the number 5 car there. Gerhardt just kind of lost an angle coming off the corner and only got striped as Finley went by.
He's got a Shady Bowl stripe to finish out the event. Bill Baird, the man in command for now anyway, as it looks like Travis McIntyre was going pit dive. We've got a slow goer here. That's Travis.
This isn't going to take long as the restart goes. We have a stalled car on the racetrack, and the leaders are going to see that when they come by. It's the 2 car. McIntyre just could not get it going, and the caution flag flies once again. The yellow lights come on here at Shady Bowl, and Bill Baird just can't seem to get more than a few laps of racing under his belt. But that's working for him just fine. The laps keep counting. Bill Baird keeps leading. As long as there are short runs, he's able to jump away and open some ground there, making it that much harder for Frank Kimmel and for Mark Gibson and the others to run him down.
Travis climbing out now. I saw him drifting to the high side. It looked like he was going to make an exit for pit road, but it just came to a grinding halt. It appears his day is done.
Well, they'll have to do some cleanup on the track here now to get the 2 car out of the way as we, under caution now, go on board with Bobby Gerhardt. Gerhardt is running again back at the tail end of the field after making what appeared to be an error.
He'll have to make a bonsai run to the front now. He did not lose a lap, by the way, so he's in good shape there, although he's got several front runners now in his windshield. He'll have to contend with time running out. Gearhart will have his work cut out for him.
And here is Jeff Finley, who inherited the spot from Gearhart. And that's 4th place. He's looking at the back of the number 40 car there, Andy Belmont's America Online Ford, with more than a few Shady Bowl stripes on it. A little bit of mist on the windshield here of the number 83 car. That could be some of the fluid that we saw kind of misting out of the back of the 2-car Travis McIntyre. The wrecker's on the track right now to take McIntyre's car away, while the lead cars and the rest circle under caution here at Shady Bowl. A very short green flag run, not even 1 lap under green before the caution flag came out. Andy Belmont circling the track, some of the bodywork flapping up there in his view. Listening to see if he keeps the car running, and he does.
White flag from the stand, should go at it next time by. Bill Baird continues to show the way with Frank Kimmel, Mark Gibson, Jeff Finley, and now Randy Churchill. Spun earlier, we mentioned it. He has struggled and fought his way, raced his way back to the top 5 position, so it should be interesting to see what Churchill has for the leaders here in the late going.
Churchill started 7th, lost a lot of positions, and now has clawed his way back up to 5th as Bill Baird stands on the gas. Frank Kimmel responds accordingly, and Gibson quickly draws up to the rear bumper of Kimmel. So the top 3 cars very much in order here. 1 lap car dropping down in between. Joe Cooksey drops into the 4th slot, just ahead of Finley and the 39 car of Randy Churchill.
Kimmel almost had a fender inside of Baird there. Off the 4th corner, Baird got his Chevrolet a little loose, opened up the door to the bottom end, but Kimmel, there just wasn't enough there for Kimmel to take. Meanwhile, Mark Gibson runs 3rd. We mentioned how much he loves this track. He will not let go of the leaders. A 3-car freight train up front.
Baird with a little bit of a wiggle. Kimmel was not able to capitalize. We're seeing a tiny bit of rear tire smoke off Gibson's car as he goes into the turn. Maybe he's got just a tick too much rear brake dialed in to the Jana King number 59.
Battery's leaning on it real hard in an effort to stay with Kimmel and Bill Baird, but still the race up front very, very tight. Baird, Kimmel, and Gibson.
Baird seems to edge away just a little bit. After he gets a couple of laps of heat in those tires, the thing settles down. And on the restart, we saw a little wobble, but he didn't fall down. Bill Baird still holds on to the point.
Kimmel's best hope seemed to be, Brian, on the restart. As you say, when the tires heat up, it appears that Baird has the better handle. Are we under caution? I believe we are. It's that 19 car again. Kevin Counselor has got himself in trouble again for the 3rd time tonight. He's had a long, long night.
Sometimes when it goes bad, it stays bad. That seems to be the case here for Kevin Counselor tonight. Of the ARCA Bondo Mar-Hyde Series Round 9. Cars circling, lead lap cars on the inside. And getting ready to go to green flag racing once again. Behind the leader, Bill Baird, who's really been in control of this one ever since he took the lead early on.
Indicative of his entire season, he's been really the man in control in all of 1999 as your current point leader. He'll show the boys off turn 4 for the restart. It's still Baird, Kimmel, and Gibson. Leslie gonna hustle his Thunderbird to the high side in hopes of getting his lap back.
Well, there's always hope, but history has shown that the high side is not going to work as the 3 leaders quickly take Leslie towards the rear rather than the front.
No doubt the bottom line works a lot better here at Shady Bowl. Bill Baird's been proving it all night long, been tucked right against the bottom rail and showing the way. He's been the strongest car so far, but can Frank Kimmel mount a challenge in the late stages of the Stapleton Automotive 150? If he can, if he's got anything for the leader, he'll have to get it out soon. Mark Gibson running very well, chasing Kimmel here off the 4th corner.
Well, if either Kimmel or Gibson is going to get the job done, they have to get it done quickly, because as the laps begin to unwind, Bill Baird starts to edge away. You can see that the closest they are is right when the green flag flies.
Gibson's really, really working on Kimmel now, and he knows he's got to see a little bit of damage to the back end of the 46 car. Gibson's been working him pretty hard.
Dropping wheels down into the grass. using every bit of the racetrack and more to try to find a way around as the laps start to wind down. And as long as those two race against each other, Bill Baird is able to keep edging away. Look at Gibson get up close on the inside now. Definite contact there. We already saw a little bit of damage to the front end, and we've got another caution. Looks like Randy Van Zandt facing the wrong way on the track again. And like Kevin Counselor, Van Zandt has had his problems that have just persisted.
Now he's got the front end on his Pontiac bent up, and that will not help the handle on that car.
Van Zandt trying to get it going again. Oh, don't get it to the grass. Okay, stayed on the pavement, but then a whole herd of race cars starts to come by. Here's a look at Gibson working on Kimmel. Incidental contact, I would have to say yes.
I guess one of those racing deals. You're racing for the runner-up position. They know they have to get to Baird if they have any hope at winning this one. He does get into the left rear quarter on the 46 car, gets Frank very, very loose. Kimmel did a great job of hanging on. However, he'll have to chase the car up the track. It opens up the bottom end for not only Gibson, but Randy Churchill as well.
Well, he had to get on the brakes to check up for the caution flag that was flying, and Gibson was able to get by Frank Kimmel there with the incident brought out, the flag brought out by Van Zandt down on the inside. Bill Baird, his feathers are unruffled. He's been in the front. All the action's been going on behind him, and once again, Tracy Leslie with an opportunity to get his lap back, and once again, the lead cars just keep him on the outside.
He may be unruffled, but there's a lot of ruffled up fenders out there. It's been another ARCA short track bump and grind, that's for sure.
Gibson now owns the number 2 spot with Frank Kimmel trying to get it back. And while those two keep racing against one another, Baird is able to edge away ever so slightly. Gibson's not getting much more than Kimmel did a while ago.
And coming down for the white flag this time by white flag up one more time for Sturgis, Kentucky's Bill Baird. Mark Gibson's going to have to hustle hard. He's got Frank Kimmel to worry about off turn 2.
Bill Baird going for win number 3 of the 1999 season. The rich just keep getting richer. Bill Baird, the points leader, is going to pile them up a little bit more. He takes the checkers. Gibson holds on to second. Kimmel's not able to fight back to retake the spot. And Bill Baird will celebrate in victory lane here with a very fine and professional run at the front. Very little damage evident to his race car. He didn't have a whole lot of racing to do. We'll be back to celebrate with the winner in just a moment. Series has been brought to you by MotorSims.com, the hottest racing games to ever burn through cyberspace. Check us out on the web and let's go racing. And by the Littlefoot Toy Company, toys for the child in us all. Call them for a free catalog. Bill Baird getting handed the haberdashery for the victory celebration as he pops on the cap and climbs out of the race car. Let's go down to Don Radebaugh.
Bill Baird, obviously a happy man in victory lane. Your 3rd series victory of the season. Had a whole bunch of Frank Kimmel and Mark Gibson in the end, but in the end, the 52 car was indeed the strongest.
Yeah, you know, we just kept our tires under us. Didn't burn any tires off tonight. The Saturn machine, Speedy Pop, Valvoline, Eagle One, Allen's Body Shop car, just, I mean, it was hooked up so good tonight. And I just saved my tires, and the 9 car gave me a little problem starting the race, and I just kept sticking in behind him, and he goofed up, and got under him, and everybody was, I hate to see those restarts, man. Everybody gathered back up on me, and then it seemed like we'd pull them by 2 or 3 car lengths, and that last restart, I just couldn't believe it. And well, it was just a fine race, got 3 of them now.
What's been your secret to 1999? You had so much bad luck in 98. You seem to have it all together. What's been the difference?
Experience and one heck of a crew. I mean, these guys, a lot of these teams, when they go home, they go home and relax. This team here, they go back home and go to work. They're wanting Bill Baird to win this championship, and Bill Baird's been after it for 9 years, and we're going to be hard to beat.
Well, after your 3rd series victory, you're the current point leader. You indeed are going to be hard to beat in 99.
He just keeps getting stronger as the season goes on. Tires on the car helped out, no doubt, by all of the cautions as Baird wins it over Gibson. Churchill just edged out Frank Kimmel at the checkered flag, and Jeff Finley rounded out the top 5. Bill Whittemore with a good run here tonight. There you can see Tracy Leslie, the pole sitter, ended up in 12th position. And the rest of the drivers listed down the standings here. You see your favorite as usual. Let's go back down to Don Radebaugh now with the other men who were part of the story.
Well, after a bit of a sluggish start to 1999, you've got, what, 3 top 5s in a row and your best finish this season. Second place here tonight. Things are looking good for the Janikine car.
So Janikine Ford ran good. We were off a little bit in the middle. The car was tied up off the corner, and I had to wait on him. You know, I let Frank. I told when we got away from everybody, I let Frank get by for second, and then let the tires cool off, I guess. And we got really good there at the end, and got under him down here in 3. And we got together, and you know, he lost a couple positions. I hate it, but I mean, it was just hard racing. You know, here at Shady Bowl, it's hard to pass, and you got to take the chance when you get it. Otherwise, you're not going to get many. And so I thought we had a chance for Bill there at the end. And he just pulled away on the restart, and I was a little off on restarts all night. I don't know what it was, but.
So what happened there at the end?
Well, I tell you, it's. I'd like to think it's one of those racing deals, but it happened the last 4 or 5 laps. We got beat on pretty hard there, and Mark got us sideways, took advantage of it, and passed us, and I don't know, just a bad deal. I don't expect that from Mark Gibson. I don't expect that from anybody. That's why you leave Saturday night racing, so you don't have to put up with stuff like that. And I don't know, got to beat up back into the car and finish 4th. So
4th place in the race, still good for 3rd in the points, but it is a tall order for everyone to edge Bill Baird out of his championship run, at least so far here in 1999. Race communications provided by Racing Electronics, the official communications supplier of ARCA. For a free catalog, call them at 1-800-272-7111.